Hey everyone, happy Magic
Hello.
Wednesday. Magic Wednesday with white sweaters, right, Christine?
Yes, did you get the memo, Lorna? It's White Sweater Day.
I clearly did. How are you
Oh,
doing?
goodness. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Much better, thank you. Life got a little lifey, but all
It
is well
happened.
now. Yep.
Okay.
In fact, I think it's a great jumping off point, right? It spurred a lot of thought and a lot of reflection on today's topic.
It did. It did. And I think kind of the best way to introduce the topic is maybe just to talk about the dark side of positivity, right? That we have so many articles and people and it gets so much attention that we're supposed to be positive, positive, positive. And we think that that's fantastic, but only when it's actually real and when it's an authentic positivity as opposed to a cover up for what you're really feeling.
I'm fine. Two famous words that, right when I say it now, just, give me just not a good feeling, right? Because it's that knee jerk, I'm fine. How are you? Oh, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of, our clients, and we share in these experiences as women, we're supposed to be fine all the time.
Or we think we are, but is that really true?
Exactly. Right. And I think what we want to talk about today, as the title goes, is life can get kind of messy sometimes. And sometimes we need to be in the mess, right? Instead of trying to clean it up, put it away, deal with it later, or even worse, kind of turn on ourselves, which is what we maybe knowingly or unknowingly do, or we get impatient with ourselves. Well, I should have figured this out by now. What's wrong with me? I got to get myself together, right? I don't have time for this right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the phrase that I use most often is feel what you feel. It's so important that we actually feel all the feelings and not make some of the feelings acceptable and some of the feelings not acceptable, right? Because then you get into this, well, I shouldn't be feeling this.
Right.
But when you say that and when that happens, you're negating yourself because you do feel that way.
Yeah.
And it takes you down a really slippery slope.
Takes you down a slippery slope, and there's really you sort of add insult to injury, right? So I had a tough moment, a situation this weekend that was, the only way to describe it is, in my body it was really engulfing. It couldn't stop coming up, and I tried to get my space around it. I tried to analyze it. I tried to replay it, but what was so remarkable was just the swell of emotion. I just couldn't stop crying. I mean, I just couldn't, and it wasn't because I was beating myself and catastrophizing. It literally was something that was coming out of my body, almost like profuse sweating, like when you're running a race and it's just, what's going on, right?
But it was tears in this case.
But they were tears, and just, really, really heavy, and sadness, and it was, by all accounts, didn't really make sense, right, on an intellectual level.
On a rational, right.
Yeah.
Why was that, Christine?
What's that?
And why was it not rational? Because
why was that? Because the actual origin of it, while it was triggered by current circumstances and events and situation, the actual origin of it, I think, came from something much earlier and much deeper.
Yes.
And that was the only way to kind of give some space around it, was to be with it. Mm-hmm. And say it's got to move through as it moves through, and until it moves through, there was really nothing to push against, and that was my practice. So my practice was to feel the hurt, feel the sadness, feel the overwhelm, and let it be. Right. And it was not easy, because part of me was like, this doesn't feel good.
No, it didn't feel good at all. And I talked to you while you were in it, and that was one of the reasons we did not record on Monday.
Absolutely.
But the nice thing about the result of you letting all of those feelings move through you is that it's gone now, and you feel like you've put it behind you.
It's gone now, and I was able to respond and process from a completely different place. And I think as a result of that, there's no residual. Mm-hmm. Right? There's no angst or acrimony. There's no, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda, or second guessing myself on what should have happened. Right? It's absolutely wiped clean.
Right. And this is what we always talk about in terms of when we suppress our emotions and we push them down. If we don't deal with them, they end up coming outside
I don't know. It's not me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Every time I
It
talk.
puts on another, yeah, it puts on another face, and it will always show up. And how do we know this? Because the sense of contentment with from that point forward feels so good, right? There's really and just a sense of closure and a sense of understanding, a deeper level of understanding, where now I can look back on what happened and say, wow, that really did happen for me. You know, so many positive things, so many positive insights and reflections came of that. And you know, it's just a reminding that we have to enjoy the journey, all the rough bits along the way.
Yeah. Okay. I can't talk because there's just this noise. It's gonna have to be.
So, you know, one of the things that Lauren and I were talking about is, so when we're having those tough moments, we often turn against ourselves. We often rush ourselves through what is happening in the moment, and understanding that that is the opposite of what we want to do if we're in it for the lesson, if we're in it for the enlightenment, if you will, and the peace. So I came across 3 powerful mantras that I'm going to say his name wrong. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, father of mindfulness, for the last 50 years. And he shared 3 things that, I don't know, they gave me and Lauren the chill. So we're going to share them with you. But it's an opportunity for us to heal our relationships with ourselves when we're in turmoil, and heal our relationships with those in our life, right? And so the first one is, darling, I'm here for you. And so you're present, you're fully present, right? And the second one is, darling, I see you. And the third one is particularly powerful because it's, imagine yourself, we've all been there, when we're slamming doors and, using bad language and telling people to go jump in a lake, and we just want to curl up in a ball and isolate. And instead, what if it became, darling, I see you're suffering. I'm suffering too. I need your help.
They're so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. So I'll keep talking. So pure compassion, the healing power of compassion, when we extend it inwardly to ourselves in those moments, and when we extend it outwardly, we also in many ways get it back, because we're coming from that open-heartedness and that vulnerable place. And if we were to look at, one of the things I look back on retrospect, and Lauren and I, we do this all the time, we look at the messy parts of our lives and we say, wow, thank you, right? No mud, no lotus is the other Buddhist teaching, right? So today's video essentially really is about, allowing yourself to be in the mess, and know that when you turn inward, there's a lesson in there for you. There's some growth, there's a teaching, there's some peace. And when we don't do that, and we push it away, stuff it away, and are not very kind to ourselves, it's always going to come back. There's always a lesson in everything, right? So sorry to having the monopolize the conversation here, but I guess that's what was meant to be. So everybody have a wonderful week, and we will be back next Monday. And thanks for listening. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.